and the Swadeshi Parivar who are on the dais, respected elders in the audience, dear brothers and sisters. All of you have come after a long walk, and this is the concluding function for the day, the public function. So we have been going through what is happening in this country, different people who have studied the society, the economy, and the general situation in the country have shared their thoughts with you. Now in this session, we will carry the process forward. You know, Bharat is a rising political, economic and cultural power in the world. And this has been clear since the day we exploded the Pokhran atom bomb, where a very soft civilization, which has 5,000 years of peace, harmony, suffering, undergoing all this, this civilization decided that it has to take a bold step of telling the world that we are soft, but we can be hard also. So the Pokhran announcement placed India in the rank of a global military and atomic power. In fact, at the time, the entire world pounced on India. How could you do this? How could you explode an atom bomb? You are the country of Buddha. You are the country of Mahatma Gandhi. They all spoke about peace. They all spoke about non-violence. And today, you have exploded the atom bomb which will kill millions of people. So Clinton, who was the President of America at that time, said that this was least expected of a peace-loving country. But India was always a country of Buddha. India was always a country of Mahatma Gandhi. It was a country of non-violence. It was a country of an emperor who gave a war, but it was not respected. Our country was not respected for its great qualities. It was brushed aside. But once you exploded the atom bomb, the whole world respected you. You know why? The world respects only power. India asserted its power for the first time in 1998. And we entered all problems. And America, including Russia, Japan, Western countries, put sanctions on India. At that time, the government of India was running out of foreign exchange. And our intellectuals, our economies, our media began accusing the government that you have been an irresponsible government. But at that time, the government made an appeal to the non-resident Indians that we want $5 billion from you. And at that time, nobody would think of investing even $1 in India because the whole world was against India. But the government appealed to the non-resident Indians, please invest $5 billion. And the non-resident Indians celebrated the Pokhran atom bomb like Deepavali. In London, in New York, in Los Angeles, It was a big boost for their confidence. India was always written off as a weak nation, as a useless nation, as a nation without backbone. Once the atom bomb was exploded, the non-resident Indians felt their strong identity, bondage, emotion, love, reverence for India. So when Indian government wanted $5 billion, they gave $6 billion to India. And this shook the world. You know why? Purely for economic reasons, nobody would have invested in India. It is the identity with the nation, its civilization, its culture, its traditions that made the non-resident Indians put $6 billion. That $6 billion at that time is worth $60 billion today. This is where the world recognized there is an Indian spirit. And respecting the Indian spirit, the world went on withdrawing the sanctions. America withdrew the sanctions, then Germany withdrew the sanctions, then England withdrew the sanctions. Japan, all countries withdrew the sanctions on their own. This shows what? This shows that might is respected. Might should not become right. Good nations, good people, good organizations have to be mighty. Afterwards, India never looked back. By 2003-2004, India had achieved enormous economic progress. And without foreign investment, our GDP touched 8% in 2004. We never reached the 7% GDP for a long time. We reached 8%. And no foreign investment. With our own resources. And more. Our problem today is the current account deficit, which is that we are spending more foreign exchange than we are earning. $120 billion current account deficit, because of which the rupee value has gone down, because of which the petrol prices have gone up, because of which the inflation has risen, because of which the sufferings of the people have increased. This is today's situation. In the year 2004, we had $22 billion of current account surplus. And India between 1950 and 2004, we had current account surplus only in 4 years. 1976, 77, 77, 78. After 77, 78, current account surplus we touched only in 2002, 2003, 2003, 2004. And the world was surprised by this development because our savings increased, our investment increased, all our own families, our people, our traditional value of living within our means. This made India a very strong economy. The world began looking at India not only as a geopolitical, atomic, military power, but also as a rising economic power. It was on that basis that foreign investors wanted to invest money. Foreign investors wanted to invest money in India, not for India to grow. They wanted to invest money in India because India was growing. There is a difference. So we began receiving huge foreign exchange investment in our stock exchange. The new government which became irresponsible. And now we have huge current account deficit. Our foreign exchange reserves have come down. And the rupee value to a dollar, which was 45 rupees, you could get $1. It went up to, the dollar value went up to 68 rupees to a dollar. That means the rupee value got depreciated. And when the rupee value got depreciated, many people do not know what is the effect. A 1 rupee fall in rupee value relating to a dollar means 11,000 crores additional payment for petrol. For the same amount of petrol, you will be paying 11,000 crores additional cost if the rupee value comes down in relation to the dollar. The rupee was 45 rupees to a dollar in August 2012. In August 2013, the rupee crashed to 68 rupees to a dollar, 23 rupees fall. This 23 rupee fall means what? It means 2,60,000 crores is the additional cost of petrol, which you have to pay. The nation has to pay to foreigners. This is how the inflation went up. Agricultural input prices went up. But when the government was asked, why are we in financial problems today, when we had a rising economy, when the whole world felt India was an economic power, which is next only to China, it will overtake China in 2030. It will become the super economic power in 2060. When this is the prognosis, why are we in difficulties? The reason is, the government said, we have to import huge amount of oil. It is because of oil imports our economy is suffering. And another, our people love gold. Because of gold imports our economy is suffering. This is what the government said. The intellectuals accepted it, economists accepted it, media accepted it, opposition political parties accepted it. But what is the proof? The argument that India had to import oil and because of which there is a huge current account deficit. In the last 9 years, the current account deficit was $339 billion. We had a current account surplus of $22 billion in 2004. Between 2004 and 2013, the current account deficit was $339 billion. That is the amount of foreign exchange we spent more than what we earned. The government said it is because of oil and gold. It's a complete lie. In the 9-year period, the oil imports were only $515 billion net. The gold imports were $161 billion. It is the capital goods import, the machinery that we imported from China, mainly from China, $587 billion. Capital goods import $587 billion. Oil imports $515 billion. Gold imports $161 billion. Which is the reason we used to import $10 billion worth of capital equipment till 2004. Afterwards it goes up 25 billion, 37 billion, 47 billion, 58 billion, 69 billion, 93 billion, 99 billion annual imports. And these imports are facilitated by cutting the import duty for companies like Reliance and zero rented customs duty for power projects of more than 1,000 megawatt. And our trade deficit with China, the total trade deficit of India was $339 billion. Our trade deficit with China alone was $175 billion in the last 9 years. This equals 3 years of defense expenditure of China gifted by India free. China is an enemy of India. It is not Germany, a friend of India. It is not France, a friend of India. It is an enemy of India. And $175 billion gave in the last 9 years to China, which equals 3 years of China's defense expenditure, 5 years of India's defense expenditure. The government was blind. They were only bothered about how to protect Chidambaram in parliament, Raja in parliament, Manmohan in parliament, begging before opposition parties, please don't do this. They never looked at the computer which was disclosing a serious economic problem. They had no time. And this import completely destroyed the local capital goods industry, which came down by 10% in 2011-12-13. PHCL shut down half its capacity. L&T shut down its capacity. Jayaprakash Industries shut down its capacity. All this came in newspapers. The finance minister did not read. The commerce minister did not read. The prime minister was blind. The economy crashed. It was an open irresponsibility, recklessness of the government. The media keeps quiet. No analysis, no investigation, no exposure. When we wrote 3 articles in the Indian Express and it was circulated to many industries, many industrial leaders sent emails to me. What you have written is shocking. I said, what is there to be shocked about? This is on the computer. This is on the website of the Reserve Bank of India. You did not look at the website of the Reserve Bank of India. If you don't look at the Reserve Bank of India's website, you don't have a reason to be shocked. You have a reason to be shamed. 3 industrial groups asked me to come and make a presentation to them. I said, why I have to make a presentation? I just showed them the Reserve Bank of India website. A very big industrial group from Pune asked me to come and make a presentation to them because they are a global group. Why I am saying this is, business in India has failed. CII, Assocham, FICCI, they have all failed. Media failed. That is why the economy has come to this stage. A vigilant public opinion would have stopped this. In fact, I felt sad that I should have written this 3 years before, 2 years before. Even I did not do it because we are all involved in so much work. This must be on the computer screen of the Prime Minister's office. What is happening today, what is likely to happen 1 year later will also be there. A completely irresponsible, a criminally responsible government has brought India to this level. Otherwise there is no problem in India. In 2008 when the whole world economy was shaking, India was stable. Why? Because in America people borrowed money and did not return the money to the banks. The banks had borrowed money from the world and so they defaulted on the world banks, debts of the banks, and so it became an American family crisis, became global financial crisis. But in our country people do not borrow, they save. This year the Indian families will be depositing 10 lakh crores in bank. 10 lakh crores cash. Our families are depositing in bank. The government is borrowing 5.5 lakh crores for its survival. The government is borrowing from people. In America, the government is not able to borrow from the people because the people do not save, so they have to borrow from the world. Our government easily borrows from the bank where people deposit the money. Responsible people, responsible families, responsible parents, responsible children. This is what saves India. So there is a cultural foundation to Indian economy. It is only the Swadeshi Movement which has the capacity to articulate the cultural element, the cultural impulses, the cultural drive that make the Indian economy fundamentally strong, irrespective of the irresponsible and reckless government. This country has had a stable economy. We discuss about communities. We live as a family. We look at divided nation. But for 6,68,000 villages and towns, we have only 12,800 police stations. When I mentioned this to a university in America, I was shaken. There are thousands of villages in this country which I have not seen policemen at all except during elections. That is our capacity to live, even without a government. This country is a fundamentally strong nation. Its economy is founded on the economic habits of the people. So the difficulties that we see in this country are temporary in nature. If an irresponsible government is removed and a responsible government is brought in, one responsible leader can make a world of difference to this country. So we need not be bothered about the current economic difficulties. It's not the structural difficulty of the people of India. It is the irresponsibility of the government of India. So in the next 6 months to 1 year, the situation will become alright. Already the government has realized its fault, but it has taken 4 years of wrongdoing to realize their fault. So I am extremely happy that the Swadeshi government continues to give this other paradigm, presents it before the people. And it is a very silent word. As Yogananji said, we are a critical small team of thinkers connected to the people, understanding the spirit and the soul of India. And we keep communicating to the people. There is no other alternative opinion making in this country other than the Swadeshi Jagaran, Manch and its allied organizations and the think tanks which are associated with it. So I am extremely happy that for 20 years this penance is going on, and I see in this time, because I have been associated with the movement from day one, I see many youngsters coming up and taking responsibilities. That is the sign of the growth and the liveliness and the vibrancy of the movement. So the Swadeshi government is taking roots everywhere. It's in activity, it is in contemplation, it is in intellectual exposition, it is in mobilizing people, it is making people aware, it is doing researches. It's a multi-dimensional effort. I am extremely happy that I could share my thoughts. But unfortunately now I have to leave. I have taken the permission of our leaders to talk first. So I have to go today because I have another important program to participate in Coimbatore tomorrow. So I request the audience and the people, my colleagues on the stage, to excuse me for having to leave. Thank you very much.